So what is the sunk cost fallacy? This is where individuals, I'm reading a definition here if this sounds boring, but individuals commit the sunk cost fallacy when they continue a behavior or endeavor as a result of a previously invested resources. So how that relates to marketing operations is
just
in
marketing.
twofold.
Marketing, right?
Marketing
marketing
or marketing
ops.
operations.
Yeah.
It's twofold. Really around campaigns and tech.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times you'll have a tool, people like to call it shelfware, where it's sitting on the shelf and you're not using it, but you're spending money on it. And you want to keep it because you've spent money on it already. And that is, you're completely falling into the trap of the sunk cost fallacy. You sunk money into it. And the fallacy is that you think you might still be able to get value out of it if you continue using it. And the same thing from a campaign point of view. If you're running a campaign or a channel or any kind of initiative within marketing, you've put money, you've put time, you've put resources into it, and it may not be giving you the results that you need, but because you've already invested in it, you're sticking with it.
Yeah, and I think this can be a source of stress for some people as well. I think I compare it to, weirdly, we have this like really fancy massager that we spend a lot of money on, and I'll look at it and I'm like, I need to use that.
Oh, the Theragun thing?
Yeah, the Hypervolt.
I thought you were talking about a real massager.
Oh, no.
Like a person.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I was like, where did you get that?
The Hypervolt, and
Yeah.
I think I tried it like once and it made my skin itch, and I was thinking, okay, I'll give it another shot. Okay, every time I look at it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start using that. I should use that. It's expensive. It's fancy. It'll make my muscles feel better. And then it just kind of sits there. And I keep thinking in the back of my head, every time I walk by it, I kind of feel a little bit like inside of me hurts. And that's just a small investment.
And that's not a subscription. Right?
No, a small investment as well. And that's just a personal thing. I think everyone can think about those in their daily lives. But for those of us in marketing, especially marketing also with tech, and then for marketers for their campaigns, we find that where we spend the most amount of money or where we put a lot of budget, we'll just try our hardest to make things work, where in the end it might make sense to really just rip it out. And I think right now when budgets are being slashed, or we could really free up some budget because we haven't been given any more, this is a good exercise to run through. So to not get caught in that sunk cost fallacy position.
And I actually had a conversation with a client the other day about this, and there's a tool, I won't name names, but it's in the tens of thousands yearly, and but they're desperate for extra MOPS headcount. And I said, well, I mean, I know that getting rid of this tool isn't going to be freeing up all of the money for a MOPS headcount, but it's going to get you somewhat of the way there, and give you an ability to maybe have that conversation, right? Because you've freed up a little bit of budget in exchange for trying to free up a little bit more to get that headcount.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the important things with the sunk cost fallacy is that it really, you know what's in that category, right? And that constant trying to keep on, having it in the back of your mind, and it's taking up that kind of overhead in your energy, but that it's a sunk cost. It's not providing value, and it's genuinely does impact your happiness and well-being and the productivity of your team.
Yeah, and in some times you maybe don't know because you're coming into the organization and you're just given a tech stack, and you're like, 3 of these things do the same thing, and you're wondering, or that you're hearing from a sales team now that it really didn't get the due diligence that it properly needed, or it's not working. Okay, why is it not working? So we wanted to talk through the questions or an exercise that you can go through when trying to decide whether you continue to put resources into something, or keep some initiative going, or keep a piece of tech versus not. And so do you want to kick it off, Charlie?
Sure. So there's just some general questions to ask yourself. So the first one is, once you've identified a tool or a campaign that isn't really giving you the ROI or the value, is the first thing is okay, you're trying to figure out, should I scrap this or not, right? So first, develop that list of everything that kind of doesn't seem right in terms of the balance of value to cost and effort. But then ask yourself, have I implemented this properly, right? Is this tool that an attribution tool, or, you know, a data orchestration tool, or whatever it is, did I put the time into actually implementing this properly? Did I train the team properly? Have I just done all of the things I needed to do to get the value out of this? Is it kind of on me?
Mm-hmm.
And then once you've asked,
or did your predecessor? Because
or
like I said, you might
or
be
their CS team,
mm-hmm.
you know, kind of as a group of people.
Right.
Yeah, good point. So then the next question to ask, if the answer to that is no, then can I even put in more effort, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can, then maybe try,
mm-hmm.
right? Unless it's just a categorical no, that you should just scrap this thing. But if you think you can put in more effort, and you can, you know, maybe take a few steps back to take a lot of steps forward, then try it,
mm-hmm.
Maybe before scrapping it. But if the answer is, I literally don't have the time, I can't see myself doing this in the next few quarters, renewals coming up, then I think you've got your answer.
Totally. And I think some of the things that, you know, when we think about this with a client, it's kind of taking some of the emotion out of it as well. I think a lot of the times we even find like, oh, I'm using this tool because my CMO is best friends with my wife's sisters, like whoever, you know, like there's like relationships behind some of these big decisions. And that is so stressful for a marketing ops person who's just like trying to make this tech work. And we really need to stop doing those backdoor deals, or stop doing those, like, you know, deals that are really a favor, because no one wins in the end. But, you know, take some of that emotion out. Like, people will understand if you make the case for why it's hurting the business, or why maybe it's impacting your team. You can part ways with it.